Well, hi everybody. Thanks for joining us on Logistics Executive TV for our series. This is episode 2 on Behind the Lens, which is all about video production. And I'm joined today again by my co-host for the journey through the series with Rob Schreiber. And Rob is an award-winning director and producer with who is Elliott, and we're here in Sydney today again. And Rob, thanks for joining us.
Tim, thanks for having me back.
Brilliant, good to see you. So today we're going to talk about strategy. We're going to talk about storytelling, whether it be for online or whether it be for socials, media, or in fact for the TV production, which you and your team have done a lot of over the years. So let's start off with what the difference between a television commercial is and what is the difference between that and social media in terms of building content and producing an ad online or a production online.
Good question.
Yeah.
Traditional TV obviously goes back decades and decades.
Sure does.
And that's how people advertised on and had a really broad, wide audience. So when you're selling on TV, you have to think about your demographic, your time slot. When you get into social media, you can target very specifically who you're going after, and what you're after is clicks and click-throughs to your website or direct selling.
Okay.
So that primarily is the major difference.
Okay, brilliant. So based on that then, talk to us a little bit about how you craft some content that cuts through the clutter. So if it's somebody online, I mean, we produce quite a significant amount of material online. We've got 357,000 followers across our 3 platforms for Logistics Executive Group and its other groups. For you, what is the way that you can share with the audience of cutting through that clutter for online productions?
We used to call it the 3-second click, or swipe as it's called now. So you really got to capture your audience very, very quickly. And there's several ways to do it. Obviously, there's lots of gimmicks that you see on TikTok and Instagram and things where people are doing very silly things, and someone might go, oh, that's interesting.
Just to get that attention.
Just to get their attention.
Okay.
But if you really, most of the time people will look at it quickly, see it's a gimmick and just move on.
Yep.
You need to draw people into the image that they first see. The only way you can do that is with good cinematography and a storyline. If you've got that happening and you've also got strategy behind the video productions that you're making, then you've got a campaign. And if you can draw people in on that first image and they look and they see an image and they're drawn into it, that's the best way to get that attention.
Brilliant. Can you give us an example of a campaign that has had a particular impact and explain why?
Yes. At the end of last year, I worked with Jim Jam Ideas and Charlie Cook, the creative director over there, and we did a campaign for IGCC, which is the Investor Group for Climate Change.
Okay.
Now, the brief was to take people that were in hard industry like coal mining and convince them that they can transition to green energy and renewables, and kill that myth that green energy and renewables was killing their industry.
Okay.
And these are people that have been in this industry for decades.
All right.
And we did it by a series of mini documentaries that were also then cut down into social media clips, 6-second, 15-second, and 30 seconds. One of the best stories was a chap that was in coal mining as an electrician working underground.
Yep.
He saw the older blokes that have been in there the whole lives, and he looked at their health, he looked at their skin, and he decided this is not what I want to be doing. So he transitioned from that into a company called Energy Renaissance, where he worked in R&D and developed an outdoor battery, Australia's first actually. And so that was one of the stories. Now, what we did with that is that we didn't shoot a talking head. Matter of fact, we didn't see him talking to the camera or to us at all, right? We saw images of him in his daily life. So visually, the opening scene is just this beautiful drone cinematic shot of Lake Macquarie. You know, so instantly people just kind of look at that and go, wow, that's so beautiful. And then the story starts.
Okay.
Right? So you've drawn them in by beauty.
Okay. Interesting. So how then does, I mean, most of the stuff that we do, all the stuff we do is online, as you're aware. And so how does the format that somebody is using, or whether they're a single operator or whether they're a small company or a large company, how does the format or the platform make the difference between what you're going to produce in terms of content?
Content?
Is there a
content against TV or?
Yeah, well, if you're talking whichever platform.
Right. So, well, TV's obviously broadcast.
Yep.
It's 16 by 9. It has been for the last couple of decades. And you have to have, it's very, very regulated. All your gammas, the colour tone has to reach certain standards.
So you can't just whip out a Samsung and shoot away and then expect to stick that up on the television.
We'll never get through the TVs. I mean, sure, if it's shot properly, and people have used iPhones to create TV ads and actually feature films.
Yep.
So yes, it can be done, but they have to be colour graded. They have to be sound mixed. They have to reach what they are called broadcast specifications.
Yep.
And they're very, very strict. So if you don't match those or don't reach those specifications, you will not pass, and your product will not get to air. Online, virtually anything. You can put anything up there just about. It doesn't matter.
We've seen
right?
that on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and we've seen, oh my God, we've seen all sorts of things, right? Haven't we? But once again, when you're talking about formats, obviously for online, it needs to be a lesser bit rate, a smaller file size.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people watching it will stop and have to buffer, right, and then start playing again. So you want to keep the file size small.
Sure. Yeah.
Obviously, if the video doesn't require sound, then you want to make sure that you've got captions on there. Now, the standard outputs, it depends where you're going. Reels are 9:16, which is the vertical format. Instagram is a 4:5 format, which is kind of square. And then your standard 16:9, which is for YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. However, on LinkedIn, you can also use the vertical, and you can also use the square format.
Okay, didn't know that. Well, so most of that's well above my pay grade, mate. But look, really appreciate it, and I'm hoping the audience is picking up a lot of intel here, because this is the sort of stuff that you'd normally need to pay a lot of money to get a consultant to tell you. Rob's handing it over. So thanks for joining us for program number 2 on the series of Behind the Lens with Rob Schreiber, who is an award-winning producer and director with his company, who is Elliott, and other productions. So, Rob, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Kim, for having me.
Yep, thanks for series number 2, and we'll look forward to talking to you again very soon with program number 3.